Tonight on Coventry Motor Speedway Television, the Coventry Bees take on the Oxford Silver Machine. The Bees, of course, will be looking for revenge after a 2-point defeat down at Cowley yesterday morning. As these exclusive pictures show, the Bees were always up against it on a surface which was hardly conducive to speedway racing. The Bees battled hard and looked to be securing a last heat 5-1, which would have secured them the draw. However, Lee Richardson succumbed to the track and fell off whilst in third place. Oxford therefore taking the 2 league points in a very narrow victory. So it's revenge time for the Bees this evening, but of course it won't be easy. Oxford Silver Machine have the likes of Todd Wiltshire, Sebastian Uwamek and newly introduced to the side Craig Boyce, who replaces the injured Nicholas Klingberg. Supporting those three, of course, is Travis McGowan and the Oxford spearhead of Nicky Pedersen. The Bees will be up against it and know that they will be in for a tough match this evening. However, buoyed by their successful start to the 2003 campaign, Coventry Bees will be looking for not only the win to this evening but also the bonus point as well. So we look forward to a exciting match in prospects tonight, but before we get into the racing action, we caught up with Bees number 5, Andreas Johnson.
Andreas, a difficult day for us yesterday at Oxford. You must be quite pleased that everybody got through without injury, considering the track conditions.
Oh yeah, I was a bit worried myself, I didn't feel too sure on that track either. All that dust, you couldn't see anything if you got behind, and just as you said, just lucky that everybody got through without an injury.
How difficult is it for you as a rider? You had a really wet track here last Wednesday and then a really dry one at Oxford yesterday. Must keep you, it must be difficult for your setup and everything.
The setup, doesn't really matter when the track is that hard to ride. It's just that you have to change how you ride a bike, and that's pretty hard. And what can I say? You just have to get used to it. You got no choice.
So a tough one tonight, 2 points down. You should definitely get the win and obviously the bonus point.
I really hope so, home track advantage. So can't see should be any problems. And we just lost by 2 yesterday, and the bonus point should be ours.
Obviously you've got the Grand Prix coming up next month. Are you all set for those?
Pretty much, got the whole team in Sweden sorted, and yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.
So we look down there, Nat, heat number 1, and you line up in red for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees. It's the skipper, Billy Hamill. His partner in blue is Billy Gennaro. Lining up in green for the Oxford Silver Machine will be Todd Wiltshire, and off gate number 4 in yellow, it's Travis McGowan. So the Bees will be looking for revenge after a very, very tight meeting down at Cowley yesterday morning on a track that can be little short of described as a disgrace. So as we look at the racing order then for heat number 1, riding in red off the inside it's Billy Hamill. Riding off gate number 2 in green it's Todd Wiltshire. In blue off gate number 3 it's Billy Gennaro, and if off gate number 4 in yellow it's Travis McGowan. The starting marshal calling them into order then for the start of this heat number 1. It's Hamill, Wiltshire, Gennaro and McGowan. That's your lineup. As the green light comes on straight away, as the bikes pick up the revs, and away they go. And off gate number 2, it's a fantastic start for Wiltshire. Wiltshire's away, but the Bees packed into second and third, down the back straight for the first time. It's Wiltshire then who leads from Howell. Gennaro tucked into third with McGowan towed off at the back already. With a lap gone, Wiltshire just up front from Hamill. Hamill giving chase with Gennaro still in third. McGowan way tailed off at the back, but it's a good start for the Oxford Silver Machine in the shape of Todd Wiltshire, who looks as if he's set fair to take a convincing win here in heat number 1. 2 laps gone. Wiltshire is still your leader. They tear down the back straight for the third time. Todd Wiltshire a good 20 metres lead now over Billy Hamill. Gennaro still tucked into third, but an opening heat 3 all here will set the meeting up quite nicely. With a lap to go, Wiltshire then still leading from Billy Hamill. down the back straight. It's still the style of the Grand Prix rider, the Australian Todd Wiltshire, who's going to be your race winner here of heat number 1. Wiltshire comes off the Coventry corner for the final time as Wiltshire's your winner. Wiltshire wins. Billy Hamill takes second place and Billy Gennaro was third. So an opening heat 3 apiece, and your winning time there for Todd Wiltshire, very fast indeed, 60.1. So Todd Wiltshire your winner, Billy Hamill second and Billy Gennaro third. An opening heat 3 all, and we look on now to the reserves race, heat number 2. Moving on then to heat number 2, and your lineup in this one, in red for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees will be Jason Bunyan. Bunyan, of course, will be looking to continue his slight improvement in form after a very disappointing opening start to the 2003 season. Jason Bunyan's partner in blue in this one will be Stuart Robson. Robson, of course, in tremendous form of late for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees. In green for the Oxford Silver Machine off gate 1, it's Jamie Smith guesting tonight for Janusz Kalenko, who's back in Slovenia competing in the National Championship. And in gate number 3 in yellow for Oxford, it's their double up rider, Charlie Jader. So as they settle down for heat number 2, Starting Marshall walks away and away they go, and it's a tremendous start off gate 2 for Jason Bunyan. Bunyan leads with Robson taking the high wide outside line, but Jada takes him wide. Down the back straight for the first time, then it's Bunyan with Jada going right around the outside of the young Coventry rider. Bunyan comes off the line to block him, but Jada's made an inside swoop there, and Jada surges into the front. A tremendous ride there by Jada. Down the back straight for the second time, Jada leading then from Jason Bunyan with Robson tucked into third. Jamie Smith tailed off at the back. Coming off that Coventry corner for the second time, Jada now with a couple of bike advantages over Jason Bunyan. Down the back straight, and Bunyan's in a little bit of trouble. He rear there coming off the second corner, but still Jada has an advantage over Bunyan. Robson still tucked into third, so it looks as if it's going to be another 3 apiece in this heat number 2. With a lap to go, still the style of Charlie Jada up front. Jada leading down the back straight for the fourth and final time. Charlie Jada's going to win this heat number 2, but a good better ride by Jason Bunyan here, who's going to get 2 points for the Coventry Bees. 3 apiece then in heat number 2. That's Charlie Jada your winner. Jada wins from Jason Bunyan in second and Stuart Robson third. So 3 apiece. And we look down progressively now, of course. It's 6 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 6 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Fairly swift time there as well for Charlie Jada. His winning time 61.3. So as they come down in front of the grandstand, the applause there for your heat winner, Charlie Jada. Moving on then to heat number 3, and your lineup in this one for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees, in red it's Lee Richardson. Richardson, of course, returning to the Bees after missing out last week when his place was taken by Lucas Drimmel. Lee Richardson's partner here in blue, it's Ryan Fisher, himself returning from injury, crashing out last week, of course. For Oxford in this one heat, in gate number 2 in green, it's returning Craig Boyce, who of course is back into the lineup, replacing Nicholas Klingberg. And off the outside in yellow, it's Sebastian Uamek. So they settle down for heat number 3. Away they go. And from the inside, it's a great start by Ryan Fisher. Fisher's away, but Uamek round the outside. As Uamek got the legs to get round Fisher. No, Fisher pulls away from him down that back straight. For the first time, it's Fisher still up front from Uamek. Richardson tailed into tucked into third, but he's got an advantage on the inside as Uamek goes wide. And Richardson takes the second spot then for the Bees, and they're on a 5-1 at the moment. Down the back straight for the second time, it's Fisher still from Richardson. Uamek tucked into third, and a disappointing ride at the back for Craig Boyce. As they come through to complete 2 then, it's still Fisher with an advantage over Richardson. Richardson holding off the challenge of the pole, Sebastian Uamek. Down the back straight for the third time. It looks as if the Bees are going to take a slight advantage then. Here, after heat number 3 with a 5-1 here from Ryan Fisher, the style of the American. A great return from injury after crashing out last week. down the back straight for the final time. Ryan Fisher's a good 20 metres clear now of his partner Lee Richardson as he comes off the final bend. It's Ryan Fisher who wins heat number 3. Fisher wins it from Lee Richardson in second, Sebastian Uremek third. So the Bees take perhaps a surprise 5-1 there in heat number 3 with Ryan Fisher, your convincing winner in a very swift time indeed of 60.5. So Fisher wins it, Lee Richardson second, and Sebastian Uremek third. So 5-1 to Bees. Progressively now it's 11 to Coventry Bees and 7 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Moving on then to heat number 4 and second ride out for Stuart Robson. He's partnered in this one by the Super Swede of Andreas Jonsson. For Oxford Silver Machine in this heat number 4, we see Nicky Pedersen coming out for Oxford in green, and his partner, his fellow Dane in yellow, will be Charlie Jada. So Oxford perhaps will be looking for a heat advantage in this one after Jada was a successful winner of heat number 2, and of course Pedersen goes very well wherever he rides. So as we look at them then from inside to out, you've got Stuart Robson riding in blue off gate number 1. Riding in yellow off gate number 2 for Oxford Silver Machine, it's Charlie Jada. Riding in red for Coventry Bees in gate number 3 is Andreas Jonsson. And off the outside for Oxford, it's Nicky Pedersen. Starting Marshall calling them into order then for a crucial heat number 4. The Bees with an early advantage, and of course they'll not only be looking for a victory tonight, but they'll also be looking to claim that bonus point. Starting Marshall just checking Pedersen and Jonsson's positions there off the outside track. So as they settle down then for this heat number 4, it's Robson, Jada, Jonsson and Pedersen. That's your lineup. Away they go, and into that first corner, it's Andreas Jonsson who makes a tremendous start. Jonsson gets away from gate 3, and Robson's tucked in with it, with Pedersen finding himself in third at the moment. Pedersen trying to surge underneath Robson, but Robson shuts the door on him, coming off that Coventry corner for the first time. The Bees look set fair up front with Jonsson leading, with Stuart Robson still in second, holding off the challenge of Pedersen, and Pedersen's trying to find his way underneath the Coventry rider, but still Stuart Robson holds him up. Coming through with 2 laps gone, a 5-1 here for Coventry will set them up very nicely indeed. As Pedersen still chasing hard in third, he now changes his attack to an outside lunge, but Robson knows too much for him. Pedersen still trying for all he knows round the outside. Has he got the measure of Robson? Robson looks over his shoulder, he knows where that Danish rider is. As Jonsson set fire at the front, it's still Stuart Robson down the back straight for the 4th and final time, and the Bees are going to take a very dramatic 5-1 here in heat number 3. Heat number 4, as it's Andreas Jonsson who comes off the Coventry corner for the final time to take the win. Jonsson wins it. Robson takes second place, and a 5-1 there for Bees is fantastic. And it takes their advantage now to 16-8. So the Bees 8 up after 4 heats. Andreas Jonsson then your winner of heat number 4 from Stuart Robson. A fantastic ride there from Robson as Pedersen was challenging for all he knew round the outside. Tried the inside for the first couple of laps, but Robson knew too much for him. So as they come off the track to salute the fans, Jonsson your winner there of heat number 4, Stuart Robson in second, and Nicky Pedersen third. Progressively, it's 16 now to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 8 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Moving on to heat number 5, and we see out in this one, it's Lee Richardson riding in red. Riding in blue for Victor Chandler Coventry Bees, it's Ryan Fisher. For Oxford Silver Machine, winner of heat number 1 of course, it's Todd Wiltshire riding in green. And in yellow and black, off gate number 1 this time, it's Travis McGowan. So if the Bees can continue with these heat advantages, it will set them up very nicely for another convincing win here at Coventry this season. Of course, the Bees remain unbeaten at home in the league, and of course only those 2 defeats on the road down at Eastbourne by a few points, and a couple of points yesterday down at Cowley. So the starting marshal just having a look there at Lee Richardson, just advising him to come up to the tapes. and they seem to be settling down then for this heat number 5. So from inside to out, it's McGowan, Richardson, Wiltshire and Fisher. That's your lineup for heat number 5. The green light comes on straight away. Away they go, and from gate number 2 it's Richardson who's out with Wiltshire. Richardson gets ahead just to Wiltshire, and coming through the gap there it's Fisher. Fantastic ride by the young American, and it's the Bees in a 1-2 advantage at the moment as Richardson leads. Wiltshire now grabbing a fistful of throttle around the outside of Fisher, but Fisher knows where he is and he moves off the line to block him. Coming through with a lap gone, it's still Richardson from Fisher. It's Todd Wiltshire still in third, and Wilshire's going to have a good look at the American with McGowan already way tailed off at the back. Another 5-1 here for the Bees would be fantastic, but it's Richardson still leading from Fisher. Wilshire trying all he knows. Wilshire now trying to cut back on the inside, but Fisher's still got that 5-metre advantage over the Australian. Coming off the Coventry corner for the third time. Wilshire now changing his attack to the outside. Fisher moves off the line again to block him, but now Wilshire, he's going to grab a fistful of gas and he's going to straighten up quickly. As down the back straight, Wilshire's underneath Fisher. Can Fisher shut the door on him? But no, Wilshire's underneath and Fisher's in trouble, and Fisher's going to come off. Oh, that's a tragic end to heat number 5. As Richardson, your race winner, Fisher looked to have had that in the bag, but he just came under a little bit too much pressure there from Todd Wiltshire, and perhaps his inexperience cost him there as Fisher came off. We'll have a look at it again. You can see Wiltshire, he got his wheels straightened up and he was underneath the American, but still Fisher looked to have got the advantage until he lifted a bit too much out of that Coventry corner and down he came. So Richardson, your race winner. Todd Wiltshire takes a second spot and Travis McGowan gets a gift point. So progressively now it's 19 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 11 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Moving on to heat number 6, and we look at the lineup in this one. It's the skipper for Victor Chandler Coventry Bees, in red, Billy Hamill. His partner in blue, of course, off gate number 1, it's Billy Gennaro. Riding in green for the Oxford Silver Machine, it's Nicky Pedersen. And in yellow, it's their guest tonight, Jamie Smith. So the owner's probably on Pedersen to get out for Oxford and win this, and to try and get them back into this meeting. I don't think Oxford will have expected to have been 8 points down so far this evening. So as they settle down for heat number 6, it's Gennaro, Pedersen, Hamill and Smith. That's your lineup. Green light comes on straight away, and away they go, and from the inside it's Gennaro, but in fact Nicky Pedersen gets across of him, and it's Pedersen who leads down that back straight for the first time. Pedersen with Hamill trying to find a fast outside line on the young Dane, but it's still Pedersen who leads. Hamill trying to find his advantage around the outside, but it's Pedersen still up front from Billy Hamill. Billy Gennaro tucked into third, and unsurprisingly Jamie Smith tailed off at the back. Down the back straight for the second time. Pedersen still with a 5-bike length advantage on Hamill. Hamill trying to work his advantage around the outside, but it's still Pedersen who's in fact pulling away from the Bees American pairing. So it looks as if the Bees are quite happy and content now to pack the places in this heat number 6 and to keep the advantage at 8 points as they come off that Coventry corner for the final time. It's still Nicky Pedersen from Billy Hamill. Billy Gennaro still tucked into third, and the starless speed of Nicky Pedersen showing what a force he may well be this year in the World Championship Series as Pedersen comes off to take the win, and 3 points in heat number 6. Nicky Pedersen wins it. Billy Hamill, he came in second, and Billy Gennaro third. So a 3-all in heat number 6 there. It's 22 now to the Victor Chandler Bees and 14 to the Oxford Silver Machine. So moving on then to heat number 7, and your lineup in this one for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees will be Andreas Jonsson, convincing winner last time out. His partner in blue, it's Jason Bunyan. Riding in green for the Oxford Silver Machine in this one will be Craig Boyce, who had a very disappointing opening ride tonight, and his partner in yellow and black is Sebastian Uamek. So the Bees will be looking to consolidate their advantage in this one. No doubt Oxford will be striking back in heat number 8 with a tactical substitute, but before that we look of course at this heat number 7. Seems to be a little bit of confusion over the gates. Craig Boyce lining up in gate number 3 when in fact he should be lining up off the inside. So with that sorted out, it's Craig Boyce who takes up his position off gate number 1. Andreas Jonsson rides for the Bees in red off gate number 2. In gate 3, it's Sebastian Uamek, and riding in blue off the outside is Jason Bunyan. Starting marshal calling them into order then, and like I say, the Bees will be looking to consolidate their advantage here with their 8 points to the good after 6 heats, of course. So as they call on into racing order then for this heat number 7, it's Boyce, Johnson, Uamek and Bunyan. That's your lineup. The green light comes on straight away. Boyce pick up the revs and away they go. And from gate number 2 again, it seems to be working tonight. It's Andreas Johnson who leads. Johnson leads with Bunyan already finding himself at the back as the Oxford Silver Machine decide to pack the places. Johnson's way up front already from Sebastian Uamek. It's Craig Boyce in third and Bunyan trying hard at the back. Coming through with a lap gone. Johnson still with the advantage, 10 metres over Uamek, and Boyce riding the inside line with Uamek on the outside line. And I don't think Bunyan's going to be able to get to them from that position. Coming through with 2 laps gone, Andreas Johnson is way up front at the moment, 20 metres already. Uamek and Boyce seem content to pack the places here for a 3-all, and we will perhaps see tactical substitutes in the next race. As Johnson coming off the Coventry corner for the 3rd time, the speed and style of the Super Swede. Johnson's front wheel hauls the air there in an effort to get a little bit more speed as he tears down the back straight for the 4th and final time. Johnson's going to be a very, very convincing winner of this heat number 7 as Johnson comes off the corner to win. Johnson takes the flag and takes 3 points. Second place goes to Sebastian Uamek, and disaster there for Craig Boyce on the final lap as his bike gave up the ghost. So Bunyan picks up a gift point and the Bees go even further ahead. So Andreas Johnson, your race winner of heat number 7 in a very fast time again of 60.5. Sebastian Uamek was second for Oxford and Jason Bunyan third, resulting in a 4-2 for the Victor Chandler Bees, taking the progressive scores now to 26 to Coventry and 16 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Moving on to heat number 8 then, and unsurprisingly, Oxford Silver Machine in the form of team manager Nigel Wagstaff do decide to make a change, and they take out the disappointing Travis McGowan and put in Nicky Pedersen. Surprisingly perhaps, Charlie Jader keeps his place in yellow for the Oxford Silver Machine, although he did win heat number 2, but he did look way tailed off in heat number 4, so we'll see if that makes any difference to this heat number 8. Riding in red for Coventry in this one, of course, it's Billy Gennaro, and his partner will be Stuart Robson. And the Bees, perhaps if they can pack the places in this one, perhaps let Pedersen go and keep Jader at the back, they'll of course maintain their advantage. So as Gennaro comes up to the tapes, we'll see what can happen here in a crucial heat number 8. Of course, if Oxford were to get a heat advantage of 5-1, of course, they would find themselves only 6 points back and perhaps even still in with a shout, especially of the bonus point. So they're settling down eventually now for heat number 8. You will have a look at the lineup from inside to out. Riding in yellow off gate number 1, it's Charlie Jader. Riding in blue off gate number 2, Stuart Robson. In gate number 3, in green for the Oxford Silver Machine, it's Nicky Pedersen. And in red off the outside for the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees will be Billy Gennaro. So the starting marshal having to move across as it's very tight here at the start of heat number 8. The bikes pick up the revs and away they go. And again from gate number 2 and indeed from the outside it's the Bees who are away. Down the back straight it's Stuart Robson who leads. He looks over his shoulder and he sees joining him up front it's Billy Gennaro. Pedersen surprisingly tied over the back, and have we got a racing prospect here? Pedersen trying to work the outside line, and Robson looks across to his partner. Pedersen now dives underneath, but it's still Stuart Robson who leads down the back straight for the second time. Gennaro on the outside, Gennaro telling Robson to get going as Pedersen's only a couple of yards behind them. Pedersen now front wheel hauls the air in an effort to get more speed, trying the outside lunge as Gennaro sticks out his leg to block him. Pedersen still on a fast outside inside sweep. Has he got the measure of the Bees riders down the back straight? And Gennaro blocks his path there as it's still Gennaro and Robson. What a tremendous race this heat number 8 is, as they square off the corner, and Pedersen's going to try and find his advantage underneath. Has Pedersen got some room underneath? Oh, indeed. Down they come as Stuart Robson comes down, and Gennaro's come down as well, and Gennaro's quick up onto his feet, and we'll have to have another look at that one, because Pedersen looked as if he squared off the corner, decided to surge underneath, and by the time he got there, the gap was closed, and down they went. And Gennaro is not happy at all, and fists are being waved there as Gennaro perhaps is going to have a word with Pedersen about that, because Pedersen, it was a tremendous race, but unfortunately what a way for it to end, as Pedersen trying to come underneath, and we'll just see here what Pedersen and Gennaro have got to say to one another. And it's all getting nasty now as fists are flying and riders and mechanics come out from the pits, and disappointing way for this to end, because it was measuring up to be a fantastic race, but the Bees riders obviously aggrieved at Pedersen's hard challenge there. Meantime, Wagstaff and Bees team manager Colin Paddock they're still having an argument about it. So, result of all of that, referee Paul Ackroyd this evening has decided to exclude Nicky Pedersen, and the Bees got a 5-1 out of it all. So we get another chance to look at a fantastic heat number 8, and you can see that Nicky Pedersen was so close to the Bees riders off Stuart Robson and Billy Gennaro. They knew where he was all the time. Gennaro looking across and sees Pedersen there. He tells his partner Robson to get going, and at that point Pedersen then changes his attack to an outside line. Gennaro moves off his line, sticks out a leg in fact to block him, and he knows that Pedersen is so close to him. Pedersen still with a fast outside line. Gennaro looks again, sees him coming, moves off his line to block him, and Pedersen rushes into that bottom corner. He goes in so fast and then decides to square it off and comes underneath both Robson and Gennaro. Pedersen coming hard underneath Robson, and perhaps just comes in a little bit too hot there, takes down Robson, and Gennaro on the outside had nowhere to go but down. We'll have another look at it again from the other camera, and you can see Pedersen coming in so hot there, and down goes Robson, and down goes Gennaro as well. And what a very sad way for a dramatic heat number 8 to come to an end. So progressively after all of that, we look down at the score chart, and the Bees are now even further ahead. It's 31 to the Victor Journal Coventry Bees and 17 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Looking on now to the lineup for heat number 9, a tactical substitute in the form of Todd Wiltshire here in yellow for Oxford. His partner in green, Nicky Pedersen. Riding in red for Coventry, it's Lee Richardson, and riding in blue, his partner, Ryan Fisher. So Oxford desperately now, after all those events of heat number 8, they desperately need a heat advantage to draw themselves back into the match. So as they finally settle down for heat number 9, it's Pedersen, Fisher, Wiltshire and Richardson. That's your lineup. Wilshire's not happy with Lee Richardson's position there off gate number 4. Stanley Marshall just advising Richardson to move across a little bit. And finally they look to be ready for this heat number 9. So from inside to out again, it's Pedersen, Fisher, Wiltshire and Richardson. Still we wait for them to settle, but they're finally settling down as the green light comes on. Away they go, and from the inside and off gate number 3, it's the Oxford pairing her away. Wiltshire off gate number 3 leads down the back straight with Pedersen tucking in between them. It's Richardson in third and Fisher at the back at the moment. The Oxford Silver Machine, of course, here desperately need a 5-1, and they're going to try and team ride to keep the challenge of Lee Richardson behind. As they tear off that rugby corner for the second time, it's still Todd Wiltshire leading from Nicky Pedersen. It's Lee Richardson still in third, and a 5-1 here for Oxford would close the gap again to 8 points. It's still Nicky Pedersen on the inside looking at where his partner Todd Wiltshire is, and the answer is he's not very far behind. Pedersen goes a little wide as Wiltshire's preferring to ride the inside line, and Pedersen on the outside. Richardson, though, is not given up in third for Coventry. He's trying an outside lunge. Wilshire's going to move off the line to block him. It's very tight between all four in this heat number 9. There's still Lee Richardson battles in third place to try and get on terms with Todd Wiltshire. Pedersen looks over his shoulder to try and hold off the challenge as they come off the Coventry corner for the final time. It's going to be a 5-1 to Oxford as Nicky Pedersen wins it. Nicky Pedersen, your race winner of heat number 9. Todd Wiltshire came in second and Lee Richardson third. So a 5-1 there to the Oxford Silver Machine. Quite a tame race after all the events of heat number 8. It takes the scores now progressively to 32 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 22 to Oxford Silver Machine. So still opportunities, of course, for Oxford to tactical in the next. Whether they'll do so over the Bees pairing of Hamill and Gennaro, we'll have to wait and see. So down in front of the grandstand, here come the Oxford riders, and we'll just see what sort of reception Nicky Pedersen gets from the Bees supporters. Moving on to heat number 10, and your lineup in this one, riding in red for Coventry, it's the skipper Billy Hamill. His partner in this one, after all the fun and games of heat number 8, let's see if he's got his composure back. It's Billy Gennaro. Riding in green for the Oxford Silver Machine, perhaps surprisingly, keeps his place. It's Craig Boyce, and his partner in yellow and black in this one, it's the Pole Sebastian Uwamek. Uwamek just trying a practice start towards the rear of the lineup here, just coming into gate number 1, and he'll be obviously trying to make that inside track count in this heat number 10. So as we look on from inside to out, it's Sebastian Uwamek in yellow off gate 1. Riding in blue off gate number 2, it's Billy Gennaro. In green off gate number 3, it's Craig Boyce. And in red off the outside is Billy Hamill. So settle down then for the start of heat number 10. The green light comes on straight away, and away they go. And from the inside is Uwamek, who makes a great start in gate number 3. Oh, indeed, Gennaro's come across, and down have gone Boyce and Hamill, and that looked to be a nasty one. And Uwamek seemed to come across a little bit off the inside. We'll have another look at it and see how tight it got in there. Uwamek got to the corner first. Gennaro tried to lean across on him, but in doing so collected Boyce and Hamill, and that looked to be a very nasty one indeed. A very hard shunt into the air fence here at Coventry. And we hope, of course, that the Bees skipper Billy Hamill is okay, and indeed Craig Boyce, who it does appear to be on his feet already. Just having a close look in there, you can see if Hamill's alright. We'll have another look at it from the other angle, and you can see how tight that got as Gennaro picked up and he sent Boyce out to the fence, and Hamill went down as well. So just waiting to see if the Bee skipper Billy Hamill is okay. Yeah, indeed, he's up on his feet, and Gennaro in there as well, just to see how his teammate is. But no doubt Hamill will dust himself off, and the decision of the referee is all 4 back for a restart of heat number 10. So restart of heat number 10, all 4 riders, and we'll see how the Bee skipper Billy Hamill is after that shunt. We'll remind you of the lineup for this heat number 10. It's Sebastian Uwamek, of course, riding in yellow off gate 1. Billy Gennaro riding in blue off gate number 2. It's Craig Boyce in green off gate 3, and in red off the outside, it's Billy Hamill. Just waiting for them to settle down then for heat number 10, the restart of heat 10. It's Uwamek, Gennaro, Boyce and Hamill. That's your lineup. Settling down as the green light comes on. Away they go, and from the inside it's Uwamek who's made a tremendous start. Boyce in fact as well off gate number 3 has got away with him, but Gennaro working the advantage on the inside. And down the back straight for the first time it's Uwamek leading from Gennaro. Gennaro leaves the gap, and Boyce has surged through it, but Gennaro's brave enough to go back past the Australian and shuts the door right over Boyce down into the second lap. It's still Uwamek leading from Gennaro. Boyce in third, and Hamill surprisingly tailed off the back. Perhaps he's suffering after that accident as they come through for 2 laps gone. It's still Uwamek with Gennaro on his tail. Meantime, towards the rear, it's Hamill on the tail of Boyce, and can Hamill find an advantage on the experienced Australian, of course, making his debut tonight for the Oxford Silver Machine. As they come through with a lap to go, it's still Uwamek up front, and I don't think Gennaro is going to be able to challenge for the victory. Meantime, at the rear is Hamill still battling for all he knows on Craig Boyce, but the track's beginning to slicken up this evening, and I don't think Hamill's going to be able to get past. As they tear off that Coventry corner for the final time, Hamill trying to work his advantage underneath. Boyce just checks where he is, and Boyce is going to hang on for the third. So surprising there, perhaps a 4-2 for the Oxford Silver Machine, with Sebastian Uwamek, the winner of heat number 10, and Billy Gennaro coming in second. Craig Boyce was third, so a resulting 4-2 for the Oxford Silver Machine. Progressively now, it's 34 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 26 to the Oxford Silver Machine. Moving on to heat number 11, and Todd Wiltshire is out in this one for Oxford, and his partner is the Travis McGowan, and McGowan's been quite disappointing so far this evening. Of course, he was pulled out of his last ride. Representing the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees in this one, riding in red, will be Andreas Johnson, and his partner in blue will be Jason Bunyan. Bunyan, of course, started off very brightly this evening, so we'll be hopeful perhaps of getting a point here ahead of McGowan in this heat number 11. Starting Marshall just having a word with Wiltshire off the outside there, telling him to come into racing order then. As they finally settle down for this heat number 11. It's Johnson, McGowan, Bunyan and Wiltshire, that's your lineup. As the starting Marshall walks away they go, and from gate number 4 and gate number 1, Johnson and Wiltshire get to the corner together. But who's going to have the advantage down the back straight for the first time? It's Johnson's front wheel hauls the air in an effort to get more speed. Wiltshire just gets the drop on him, and it's Todd Wiltshire who leads from Andreas Johnson. McGowan's not very far behind in third, with Bunyan tailed off at the back. Coming through with a lap gone, it's still Wiltshire, and Johnson trying to work his advantage on the outside, and that was a crazy line to ride as McGowan was on the inside, and McGowan now takes up second spot from the Andreas Johnson, and it's the Oxford Silver Machine who are fighting their way back into this meeting with a 5-1 advantage at the moment. It's still Todd Wiltshire leading from Travis McGowan. It's Andreas Johnson tailed off at the back, and if anything he seems to be getting even further back. He's trying his challenge back on McGowan now, trying to work an advantage on the outside line, but as we've said, the track seems to be going very slick, very fast this evening. As they tear down that back straight for the fourth and final time, it's going to be a heat advantage for the Oxford Silver Machine. As Todd Wiltshire still leading from Travis McGowan. Johnson, though, to be fair, has not given up, but I don't think he's got the measure of McGowan. No, in fact, it's a 5-1 to the Oxford Silver Machine as Todd Wiltshire takes the win. Todd Wiltshire, your winner of heat number 11, and a good ride there by Travis McGowan to pick up the second spot. Andreas Johnson came in third, so resulting there 5-1 to the Oxford Silver Machine, and it's closed the gap down now to 4 points. Only 4 points between the teams after the Bees were so convincingly 12 points ahead earlier on in the meeting. So a little bit of a surprise there in heat number 11 with a 5-1 to Oxford, closing the gap back down to 4 points. We look ahead now to heat 12, and Bees represented in this one off gate 1, this time in red, it's Lee Richardson. His partner in blue will be Stuart Robson. Oxford, of course, now unable to tactical and keeping his place in gate 3, in gate 4 rather, in green will be Craig Boyce, and in yellow and black will be Jamie Smith, taking his compulsory third ride of the evening. So the Bees perhaps on paper looking stronger in this one, and they'll be hopeful of taking back that advantage that they had prior to heat number 11. So as they settle down for heat number 12, it's Richardson, Smith, Robson and Boyce. That's your lineup. The green light comes on straight away, and away they go, and from the inside Richardson's away, and Jamie Smith's left at the gate with engine problems, and Robson's underneath Craig Boyce there, as it's the Bees on a 5-1 advantage at the moment. As they tear into that top corner, it's Lee Richardson who leads, Stuart Robson in second with Craig Boyce in third. Jamie Smith unfortunate not to get off the start there with engine problems. but it's still the Bees who are looking set fair for a 5-1 here in heat number 12. Richardson still leading then from Stuart Robson. His Craig boys trying everything he knows of the experienced Australian to try and get on terms with Robson, but Robson of course underlining his great form that he's in at the moment. He's had a fantastic start to this 2003 season. Lee Richardson still leading from Stuart Robson then. It's Craig Boyce in third, a little bit processional this, but the Bees won't mind as their 5-1 advantage will take their lead back up to 8 points. Richardson still leading down the back straight for the 4th and final time. Lee Richardson a very fast and quite convincing win here in heat number 12 as he comes off the top corner to take the flag. Lee Richardson your winner. Lee Richardson wins it. Stuart Robson then comes in second and Craig Boyce finishes third. So a 5-1 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees takes their advantage back up to 8, and it's 40 points now to Coventry and 32 to the Oxford Silver Machine. So the Bees looking set fair perhaps not only for the win tonight but also the aggregate bonus point as well. So moving on to heat number 13, and of course we see again in this one Nicky Pedersen riding in yellow. His partner in this one of course riding in green will be Todd Wiltshire. So if Oxford can in fact get a heat advantage of 5-1 out of this one, it will close the gap to 4 points once again, and it'll put the pressure on the Bees pairing of Fisher and Robson in heat number 14. Of course though, Bees have good representation in this one in the form of skipper Billy Hamill. Hamill of course will be hoping for a much improved ride. He was looked to be suffering after his accident in heat number 10 when he ran an uncharacteristic last place in the restart. So we look at the racing lineup for this one. Riding in green off the outside will be Todd Wiltshire. Riding in red off gate number 2 will be Billy Hamill. Oxford's representative in gate number 3 in yellow will be Nicky Pedersen, and in gate number 4 in blue for Victor Chandler Coventry Bees will be Andreas Jonsson. So the pressure again on Hamill in this one to deliver the goods. Can the skipper rise to the challenge? It's going to be a very tough one of course with Wiltshire on the inside, and Pedersen of course may have the measure of Jonsson off gate 3, so we'll see what happens here in a very crucial heat number 13. Starting Marshall having a bit of trouble with the boys on the outside, now telling Jonsson and Pedersen to get up to the tapes. Jonsson comes up to the tapes and Pedersen follows suit. So as they finally settle down now for heat number 13, it's Wiltshire, Hamill, Pedersen and Jonsson. That's your lineup. Still the starting Marshall telling Pedersen to come up to the tapes. The green light does now finally come on. They settle down, and from the inside it's a tremendous start by Wiltshire. Wiltshire's away, and off the outside Pedersen moves across, and Jonsson's in fact gone down, and Jonsson's looking for the race to be stopped, but the referee's letting it continue. Meantime up front it's Wiltshire leading from Hamill, and Hamill's trying to work his advantage on the inside, and has Hamill got the advantage underneath? Yes he has. Hamill surges to the front underneath Wiltshire, seems to take the Australian a little bit by surprise there as Jonsson skirts across the inside. He's still not very happy with that one, but up front it's Billy Hamill who leads from Todd Wiltshire in second, Pedersen still in third, and a fantastic move that was from the Bees skipper who saw an advantage underneath and worked his way through past the Australian rider of Todd Wiltshire. Down the back straight and into the Coventry corner for the third time. It's still Hamill leading from Wiltshire, and Hamill looks set fair to take a race victory here in heat number 13. Pedersen still in third as Jonsson comes up towards the starting gate, and he's still gesticulating to the referee in an effort to say why was that one not stopped, but that's no concern for Billy Hamill as Hamill comes off that Coventry corner for the final time. Hamill wins it. It's Todd Wiltshire who takes the second and Nicky Pedersen third. Fantastic ride there by the Bees skipper Billy Hamill, who saw a little gap on the inside of Todd Wiltshire. You can see it here again. He saw the advantage. Wiltshire looks across and saw Hamill coming, tried to lean back on him, but Hamill convincingly surged through to take a very commanding win in heat number 13. Andreas Jonsson still not very happy with referee Paul Ackroyd there. That it was quite a tight heat number 13 start, and perhaps unfortunate that one wasn't called back as all four. Moving on to heat number 14 then, and perhaps the last throw of the dice for the Oxford Silver Machine, as Nigel Wagstaff, the team manager, introduces Craig Boyce here as a tactical substitute. Boyce, of course, been quite disappointed tonight upon his return to British Speedway, and however, if he can team up with Uwamek in this one, of course it'll take it down to the very last race in terms of the aggregate bonus. So as we look at the lineup for heat number 14, riding in blue off the inside will be Stuart Robson. Gate number 2 will be Sebastian Uwamek. Riding in gate 3 will be Ryan Fisher, and off the outside will be Craig Boyce. So settle down then for a crucial heat number 14. The green light is on, and from the outside it's a tremendous start by Craig Boyce, who teams up with Uwamek, and the Oxford Silver Machine seem to be away down the back straight. Boyce coming past his partner Uwamek as they team up at the front. It's Boyce from Uwamek, tucked into third at the moment. It's Stuart Robson. Fisher already tailed off at the back, as it's Craig Boyce who leads from Sebastian Uwamek with a lap gone. Robson trying hard in third. Fisher trying also to get back on turns, but it looks as though it's going to be a 5-1 here to Oxford, which will mean it will go to the very last race in terms of the bonus point this evening, as Boyce comes off the Coventry corner to complete lap 2. Boyce still leading from Sebastian Uwamek. Order very much the same as they tear down that back straight for the third time. Craig Boyce still up front and maintaining his advantage, with Sebastian Uwamek still in second place. Robson trying hard in third with a lap to go, but it looks all, for all intents and purposes, to be a 5-1 here to Oxford, as it means, of course, it's going to tighten things up as we go into that very last and important heat number 15. Boyce looks ahead to across to his partner Uwamek, gives him a thumbs up. Good ride there by Craig Boyce, who's doing very little so far this evening, but he made it count when it mattered, as Craig Boyce is your race winner of heat number 14. Craig Boyce wins. Sebastian Uwamek, he came in second, and Stuart Robson for third. So a resulting there 5-1 to the Oxford Silver Machine, makes it progressively now 44 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees and 40 to the Oxford Silver Machine. So as we say, we look ahead now to heat number 15, where it's all on the Bees to pack the places, get 3 points, and to take that aggregate bonus point as well. And so it's all set up for a very dramatic heat number 15. The Bees, of course, need a 3-all out of this one to take a 4-point victory on the night and take that bonus point as well. But it's not going to be easy, of course, because Oxford are well represented with Nicky Pedersen and Todd Wiltshire. The Bees have got in this one Billy Hamill riding in blue for them, and he's going to take gate 4, and that might be very crucial indeed. He might has proven in that last race by Craig Boyce, it gave him a very swift advantage into that first corner, so Hamill perhaps will be looking for the same in this one. We look at the racing order then for this heat number 15. Riding in green will be Todd Wiltshire. Riding in red off gate 2 will be Lee Richardson. Riding in yellow and black off gate 3, Nicky Pedersen, and in blue off the outside, Billy Hamill. So like I say, the Bees need a 3-all out of this one, so with the track slickened up, of course, it perhaps is all going to be all off the start. We'll see if Wiltshire off gate 1 can make it count, but of course Pedersen as well. If Pedersen gets out, Oxford will take a 5-1, and it will be a draw on the night, and they'll take the bonus point as well. Lee Richardson just turning back, just to clear the air and to prepare himself for this heat number 15. Just coming back into racing order then for this, the start of heat number 15. From inside to out, it's Todd Wiltshire, Lee Richardson, Nicky Pedersen and Billy Hamill. That's your lineup for this heat number 15. Starting marshal just calling Richardson up towards the tapes. Just looks up to the referee for a little bit of assistance to call the boys into racing order then. So they finally look to be settling down for heat number 15. Inside to out, it's Wiltshire, Richardson, Pedersen and Hamill. Bikes pick up the revs. Crucial start this is going to be. Away they go. And from the outside it's Hamill, who makes a tremendous start. And Lee Richardson's got in there with him, and the Bees look to be on a 5-1 at the moment. Down the back straight for the first time, it's Billy Hamill who leads. Lee Richardson tucks into second, and it's Nicky Pedersen in third. And the Bees 5-1 here will wrap it up not only in terms of the race victory tonight, but also in terms of the bonus point, which is going to be oh so crucial for the league campaign. down the back straight for the second time. Hamill still extending his advantage now from Richardson. Richardson's under a little bit of a challenge from Pedersen. Pedersen again trying to work his favoured outside line this evening, but it's still Richardson who holds him back, coming through with 2 laps gone, and Pedersen loses a bit of ground there, and the Bees are able to get away, and it looks like the Bees are going to snatch a very dramatic 5-1 in this, the final race of the evening, as Billy Hamill looks across at his partner Lee Richardson, who sees him there in second place. Bees with just a lap to go, as it's Hamill who's going to take a fantastic race victory, not only here in heat 15 but like he did in heat number 13. Hamill proving he's back to his best as Billy Hamill comes off the Coventry corner, looks across at Lee Richardson, he punches the air in delight as the Bees take a 5-1 here in heat number 15. Hamill, your victor of heat 15. Lee Richardson coming second, and Nicky Pedersen, he was third. So a fantastic 5-1 there to wrap things up tonight. A most dramatic, fantastic, exciting meeting here at Coventry Motor Speedway this evening, as Billy Hamill and Lee Richardson combine there for a 5-1 in the very last race. So we'll call them out then. Billy Hamill, the race winner of heat 15. Lee Richardson, he was second, and Nicky Pedersen third. So total score tonight: 5-1 to Coventry in the final race, 49 to the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees, and 41 to the Oxford Silver Machine. So a most dramatic meeting here at Coventry comes to a close, and as the Bees take the victory parade in front of the supporters, we'll have a look down at the total scores, the individual scores for the riders. For the Victor Chandler Bees tonight, Billy Hamill, he started off quite slowly but picked it up to the gas, stepped up to the plate late on and finished with 10 points. Billy Gennaro, his partner, a good night for Billy Gennaro, of course involved in that little fracas with Nicky Pedersen earlier. Gennaro finished with 7+2. Lee Richardson, a commanding heat leader performance from Lee tonight with 11.13. Ryan Fisher, perhaps a little disappointing. He won his first race in a very swift time indeed, but then failed to score. He finished with 3. Andreas Jonsson, the same could be said for Andreas, who we learned from the pits actually is suffering with a little bit of a back injury this evening that he tweaked at Cowley yesterday, but he still finished with 7 points. Jason Bunyan, a reasonable night for Jason, who scored a total of 3 after having quite a good ride in the reserves race, heat number 2. And once again, the match winner at reserve for Coventry Bees, underlining his form so far this evening. So far this season, it's Stuart Robson, who finished with 8+4 bonus points. For the Oxford Silver Machine, we'll look down. It's Todd Wiltshire, who scored 12+1. Travis McGann, who did very little apart from heat number 11 where he followed his partner, he finished with 3+2. Craig Boyce, the same could be said for Craig on his debut for Oxford, he finished with 5 points. Sebastian Nurmek, a good night for Sebastian with 8+1. And Nicky Pedersen, his exclusions and a couple of race wins, he finished with 9+1. Jamie Smith failed to score, and Charlie Jader finished with 4 points. So that's it for this time from Coventry Motor Speedway Television. But before we go, of course, we had to have a word with Nicky Pedersen, Billy Gennaro and Bees team manager Colin Pratt.
Colin Pratt, excellent win for the Bees, and you got the bonus point as well.
Yes, we come back good in the end and held on to it. All the boys, again give 110%, but of course on a bit of a cold night, and the track was a bit on the slick side, but it was the same for everyone. I think it was a good meeting and good for the crowd.
Tempers were running high, especially after heat 8.
Yes, I think it was. Nicky tagged them for 2 or 3 laps. He did beautifully, made his move up the inside, and I think as long as he had just turned a bit and not carried on, I think he'd have been all right. People would have stood up and what a fantastic ride, because that's Nicky kind of thing. But there you go, that's Speedway.
Bit of revenge from yesterday, especially. I know you weren't happy with the track conditions yesterday.
Yes, well, after we got out of the Gulf sandstorm, it was a lot better. And that was the most disgusting track I've ever come across in my racing and managerial career. A lot of it with dust and that, and it doesn't help to encourage spectators back to our Speedway.
Definitely not.
No, that's So I'm just hoping to put it right. But I've told Oxford I will not go there again in daytime until something's done.
Nicky Pedersen, disappointment for Oxford, obviously. You must be very disappointed.
Nah, not really, you know, it's a tough meeting, you know, they got a good home advantage, you know, it take a few races before we get it sorted out there, and it's been a tough race, you know, and I mean, I had an exclusion by myself, you know, and somebody being knocked off, you know, and it's hard racing, you know, and it went to Coventry Way today, so they deserve it.
Obviously, I can't speak to you without discussing Heat 8. What was your version of events?
Well, I don't know, you know, I hope we can still be friends, you know, because it's hard racing, you know, and next time it can happen to me, you know. If you see Billy Heat 13, he do exactly the same to Todd Wiltshire, but the only thing I can say is that Todd Wiltshire is a world-class rider, so he didn't went off the bike, you know, so I would say they need a little bit of experience, you know, and it's a tough race, it's up to the referee, you know. I was included, I went for it, you know, and if the referee saw it that way, then I'm included.
Billy De Niro, fantastic win for the Bees, and you got the bonus point as well.
Yeah, you know, we survived. You know, Nicky Pedersen's trying to, actually half their team's trying to kill us, so, you know, our thing was to try and win the race and not go to the hospital.
Yeah, I can't speak to you without mentioning Heat 8. What happened there?
Me and Robert were actually on a really good 5-1. We were team riding really well, and all of a sudden, Nicky Pedersen decides not to turn, and he takes both of us out. And, you know, he's a dirty rider.
You must be. Are you taking boxing lessons?
I'm gonna have to now.
You could teach Colin a thing or two then.
Nah, he can handle himself.
Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers.